an attorney on the other side had taken a leave of absence, so they asked me if I'd take over the case. I'm sure, I'm capable of taking over the cases, and I certainly do, and we do that as a law firm pretty much every day. But this was no ordinary case. This had a top litigation attorney on the other side of the case, and the case that I picked up really wasn't very well prepared from the start. So I start going through the file, and I come up with what I think is the smoking gun in the case. An email that explains how basically the entire case had been concocted to convince the judge to switch custody from mom to dad. So I don't think anybody else realized quite how important this email or how damning this email was going to be. So call Dad as a witness. Dad's on the stand. I say, "Sir, do you recognize this document?" "Yes." "Can you tell me what it is?" "It's an email that I sent." So offer that into evidence. And even then, I don't think opposing counsel or even the attorney for the child or the judge realized quite how significant this email was ultimately going to be. So we go through back and forth. I mean, we argued back and forth about just about everything till we were out of breath. I mean, the two litigation attorneys just going head to head for a full day of trial. So we finish our evidence, and the judge turns to me and says, "Mr. Vetrano, do you have any closing statements you'd like to make?" So I'm looking down at the attorney's table, and I have that one email sitting on the table in front of me. And I'm thinking to myself, this email's in evidence, but I just don't know if the judge has reviewed it or placed enough weight on this email, or at least as much as I do, or saw the same things that I saw when I read the email. So I say, you know what? You got to just go for it. So I took that email and I read it out loud in court, word for word. And with the passage of every word, I could just see the judge's facial expression changing. First, he furrows his brow, then slight annoyance, then to complete and outright anger. And I knew at that point I'd gotten to him. I knew the judge saw what I saw at that point. Ultimately, they refused to change custody. Custody stays with my client. And the judge just ripped into the other side, basically saying, and referencing this email almost word for word, how could you go to deceive the court and concoct this story? So the point is, you've got to have a lawyer that can pick out those nuances and know what to hang on. That was one document over an entire case, and it made all the difference.